Hello, hi. I'm Sarah, and I'm with Blue Roswell Woke Donkeys. And I am here today to interview a lady that wants to be on our podcast so that she can let people know here in New Mexico. She's running for the Democratic Party secretary position, and the elections are, I think they're April 25th. So we're going to ask her some questions and you get to know her better. And that's the purpose of today's podcast. So, hello, Miss Jordan. Barbara Jordan is with us today. Hello.
Hi, Sarah. Thank you so much for having me.
You're so welcome. I'm excited to hear what you have to say. So, I do you, I don't know. Do you have anything you want to say to the people just in general before we get started, or? Hmm?
Well, I know what times that we're in, and I want people to know that while we're doing this election or whatever, at the end of the day, the bottom line is that we're all Democrats and we all have to stick together and support each other.
Hmm.
And I will do that irregardless of whatever happens.
I like that. Yeah, absolutely. And we do need the Democrats to understand to not be
Yes.
fighting infighting.
Yes.
It's horrible, horrible
Yeah.
already.
Yeah.
And we can get into some discussions on that.
Yeah.
Okay. I do have, I think it's like 9 questions, and it
Yeah.
shouldn't take more than an hour or even less if you're, a fast talker and or longer if you're not.
Mhm.
So, we are delighted that you have come on to the podcast, and I would love it if you could tell us about your history with the Democratic Party, when you got interested in politics, and what has informed your decision to be involved on this level.
Yes. Okay. So I have been a Democrat, lifelong Democrat. And I got involved with politics after our brother George Floyd, after his unfortunate passing. So I would hit the streets
Okay.
and I would do protest, boots on ground type protesting, led a lot of those, did a lot of
Hmm.
community organizing. And then I realized, you know what, I need to be in the driver's seat of politics. So I need to do more.
Sure. Right.
So
Okay.
that led me to run for mayor of Rio Rancho in 2022. And then I've just been involved uh moving forward. I was the president of the Sandoval County Federation of Democratic Women, and I also served as the interim executive director for Emerge New Mexico, which is a program
Okay.
that helps Democratic women and non-binary members run for office. It preps them to run for office.
They've
So I
been
did.
very successful.
Yes, yes,
We
we have.
we have somebody from here that's going to attend. So
Yes, I'm so
I'm super
excited. Yeah.
excited. I know, right?
Yes.
Are you still involved
Yes.
with the merge then?
I am still involved with Emerge. I
Okay,
love the
good.
mission and what we do, and we're actually coming up on our new class, and I'll be
I
there.
know she's. We
Yeah.
gave her the registration fee as a donation to her for
Yes.
dedicating her time and stuff. But I didn't mean to interrupt you. So you've been involved with the merge, and then what
Yeah.
else have you? You're wanting to run for this position.
Yes, so
Um,
that led me to want to run for secretary for DPNM, just because I know I have 25 years of human resource experience, and I
mhm.
am ready to give that to DPNM. You know, I'm also
Okay.
a 20-year Air Force combat veteran. I served in
Wow.
the military for
Thank
over
you.
20 years. Thank you so much. And then I still over 25 years of service, and this would just be a continuation of that service. I always want to give and lend my skills to the bigger picture. And that's always been me, and it always will be me.
Were you at that Veterans March they had up at the Capitol just recently? I heard that they had gone up there and they even got invited into one of the chambers by Mr. Senator Pope. I don't
Yeah.
know if you knew that. Yeah.
No, I was not able to make that one. I was actually at work,
Okay.
but I did
Oh,
hear it was
right.
very successful. And I always appreciate Senator Pope for
Oh,
uh
I know.
for for helping us with real issues. He doesn't sugarcoat, he doesn't tap dance around racial issues or veterans issues, which is important to me.
Yeah, he's outstanding. And also he's a really good singer on
Yes.
TikTok. I'm sorry, I love to watch his videos. They're so funny. Anyway,
He does
but
good.
beyond
He
that,
does good.
he does do good. And
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, how's he getting that all together, man? So anyway, I don't know. Me, I couldn't do that, but I do my
Mhm.
TikTok stuff. But oh, that's so great. I'm glad. I'm glad. And thank you. Thank you for doing all those years of service in the military. And I know that veterans are having a hard time right now. So I
Yeah.
know that people like you helping support them is important. So I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going on to the next question. If you think you've answered, if you, yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Um, Did you get to go to the convention in August that we had?
No,
Where
I did not.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
Yeah.
that and yeah, I was going to ask about highlights. There were a bunch of people that had gone, and
Hmm.
I thought it was really amazing, and I really appreciated a number of speakers, and Michelle Obama really she just brought it home to me, like
I
we've got to
know.
do something. And when she
Yes.
said that, I went and had pads made that said "do something." I just
Right.
like, yeah, she's awesome. I wish she
Yes.
would run. People would vote for her.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Okay. Um, so you're running for the secretary of the
Yes.
Democratic Party of New Mexico, and
Mhm.
thanks for stepping up and declaring on that. Can you tell us what has motivated you to take on this role at this time?
Well, I know we need fresh ideas, and we need to start where we listen to each other, we honor each
Mm,
other, and that well, we need to go back to like ground zero. And I have no beholdings to anyone else. I know I don't owe anyone any secret drug deals. That's never been me. I don't mince my words. I'm a straight shooter. And that's why I want to run for this position. I know that I will have the voice of the people, and I will make sure that the voice of the people is out there, not the position. I'm not in it for positional power. I'm in it to execute what the people want and to listen to
mm,
them and get that out and make changes accordingly so that we can be better. I love
mm.
New Mexico, and I've long believed that we can be the example state for our new American majority, and that's us.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm super excited about that. Do you know what the mandate for the Democratic Party is? Just I know that's it seems like a simple question, but you'd be surprised how many people think that we do so many other things than what the mandate is.
No,
Do you know what?
I thought about that, and I just want to make it refresh. I know the Democratic Party, like we're here to support our members who are going up for elections, things like that. We're here to
That's right.
fundraise for the Democratic Party. And we're here to make sure that each ward and each county that their meetings are recorded and things of that nature. And but I also want to do this thing where we get the voice of the people and their input back to our elected officials. I want to try that. I want to see if we can do that.
Well,
And
and I think I don't mean to interrupt.
yeah,
We're seeing on the news, like if you watch Rachel Maddow or something like
yeah,
that, that she's showing these vast town halls,
yes,
and there's such a disconnect between the voice of the people,
yes,
what you're saying, and
yeah,
and what they're saying, and the stuff that they think that they can sell us,
yeah,
like we're dumb, like we're not
yeah,
aware of what's going on,
exactly.
you
And
know?
so,
And
yeah,
go ahead, go ahead.
no,
Yeah, expounding on that.
yeah, so even as secretary, what I would like is maybe we create like an anonymous email where members can email or send in things and send in what they want, their suggestions and their gripes and complaints so that we can consolidate it and get it back out there to the people. I don't want us to be blind and disconnected to what's going on in New Mexico, in our counties, in our rural areas, and our especially our Native American siblings, and how we can support and help everyone. I mean, we've got to get back to basics. We got to get on our reservations and talk to our tribal leaders and things like that so that we can make sure that we stay as one. I was just recently in San Juan, and I said that I'm not going to ask people why they didn't vote Democrat. I'm going to make it to where you want to vote Democrat. That's what we have to
What
do.
an
We have to
excellent
reestablish
point.
that. Yes.
That's an excellent point. Is
Yeah.
I saw Adam Schiff on I think Jimmy Kimmel or something, or was it?
Hmm.
Yeah, it was Jimmy Kimmel, and he said almost something very similar to that. Was we need to give people a reason to vote for Democrats.
Yes, that is so true. Yes.
I mean, because all we're doing is saying Trump sucks and he's bad news, and
Right.
well, all of that is true,
Mhm.
and the things that he's done are sliding us into an autocracy and a
Yeah.
theocracy and all that very
Mhm.
quickly.
Yes.
I'm just very concerned that people don't seem to understand. And I'm also concerned on another level, and it kind of goes back to the original point that you just made, which was
Hmm.
that the people that work for us, and we're blessed and lucky
Yeah.
here in New Mexico. We have people in Congress,
Yeah.
and our senators that listen and that know where we're coming from, and they
Right.
represent us. That's not the case across the country. And
No,
so
no, it's
so
not.
it is it and I'm talking Democrats. I mean, there are
Yeah.
Democrats that, like, they think they shouldn't make a law that says insider trading is bad. I'm like,
Right.
no, no, that is absolutely, sorry, Miss Pelosi, but that's wrong, and I will call you out
Exactly.
on it. You know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I mean, there are many things you can't go back to the way it was, and you can't continue. You've got to shore up and fix and delineate and make
Hmm.
laws that help
Hmm.
us.
Yes, for sure. Yeah.
Okay, well, we're on the same subject,
Yeah.
same point of that. That is really important. We've got to
Hmm.
give them a reason to vote for
Exactly.
Democrats.
Right.
Absolutely. I feel like we're like over here, and I'm going to bring you back down to the.
Okay.
So, what
Got
do
you.
secretaries do? So,
Yes.
what do you
So
understand their
I do.
responsibilities are?
Yes, like record all our SCC meetings and, just keep accurate detail reporting. The secretary
Hmm.
role is a small but yet significant, important role. But I plan on doing the secretary role, but also making sure, like I said, that the voice of the people is heard amongst our other members,
Hmm.
like with our chair and vice chair and treasurer, like whomever that will be.
Okay, so that kind of answers the next one. What do you anticipate being involved with? Have you had a chance to talk to Isaac yet about what? I
Hmm.
mean, you should give him a call because
I
he's
will.
got so many. I mean, he's done a lot as
Yeah.
our secretary and has
Hmm.
been, I think he's done a really fabulous job, and he gets credit for that. But I
Hmm.
would call him and talk to him about what
Okay.
exactly it is, and how much time, and when you come and go and all of that. And I
Hmm.
think that might be illuminating too.
Okay. Yes.
So, yeah, so secretaries do that. They do the agendas, then they do the
Yes.
minutes, and
Yeah.
they also they really, what I found out in some of the meetings and the things that we did, and you were on a committee that I was on, and it went
Mhm.
to all kinds of different levels, and I sat there and
Yeah.
listened to all of it. You have to know your Robert's Rules of Order. So are
Yes,
you
for sure.
do you, okay, and do you have
Yeah.
the new 12? I think they're still on
I
the
do.
12th edition.
I actually keep them printed out now. So just in case I just,
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, it is
yeah.
like, we had a parliamentary for, was it our convention last year or 2 years ago? It was a year ago. And when
Hmm.
we had our convention, and that parliamentary, he knew so much
Nothing.
more beyond what I know. I'm
Okay,
just
got
like,
you.
am I
Okay.
supposed to ask for an adjournment,
Hmm.
or, I can't hardly remember any of that stuff,
Yeah.
but that guy was like spot on and amazing. So,
Hmm.
all right. Okay, so, well, this is going way faster than I thought.
Oh my gosh.
Um, I know, but we're enjoying one another, and that's a
Yes.
good thing.
Hmm.
Um, what do you think DPNM's biggest concern is now?
Well, the biggest concern that I feel that DPNM has is the discourse within our own party.
Okay.
I think that's the biggest concern. And I think that's what we have to overcome. But I'm so grateful for all the members and for all the work that they have done. And I just want
Mm-hmm.
to build and expound on that and just show
Mm-hmm.
unity, trust, integrity, and commitment to the bottom line. And the bottom line is that we are Democrats and we will do better and we will work together.
Okay.
I just definitely know how to keep a professional environment. I mean, you can't do that if you hadn't. You can't actually go to war with members and have any kind of discourse or anything or any kind of leave anything on the table that hasn't been worked out. And I'm well versed in conflict resolution and
Good.
team building and things of that nature. So that's what I will lean on as we move forward.
Mm-hmm. So,
Yeah.
when you say discourse, what do you mean? And can you describe, like, what kind of concerns and issues you think that DPNM is having at the moment?
Well, yeah, I
Or
think I think that we have I think there's been a lack of trust and a lack of willingness to see both sides and to work together. You know, And I can say that and still appreciate all the work that our members have done. So
Mhm.
it's not a personal attack on any of the board, the members that we have now. It's just an observation that I have seen for myself. And so I
Mhm.
want to really, really cut down on that and just get back to refocus on the values of the Democratic Party, the ethics of the Democratic Party, and what we
Mhm.
bring to the table.
I'm going to share my thought on, there's been some emails that have, I don't know if you've seen some of those emails that
Mhm.
have been going around, and whether they were appropriate or not just to be sent out to begin with. I would say this, having been in a county chair position for the last 3 years, is
Mhm.
that it's hard to second guess other people's motivations and stuff. But I do know that this particular group that's running the party has spent, and you already know this because you were on that committee with me, a ridiculous amount of time
Yeah.
trying to first assist and then advise, and then they have to discipline
Yeah.
people that are in a volunteer organization, and
Mhm.
our agenda and our motives are to elect Democrats and get
Yeah.
them into local, state, and
Yeah.
and national level
Yeah.
politics. And yet so much of DPNM's time is taken up with people who are through their hubris are not playing nice. And that's the
Right.
simplest way I can put it. They don't play
Mhm.
nice,
Mhm.
and they think that like you said, it's just a job, it's the secretary position, but that doesn't gild me. I'm not the secretary,
Right.
and I appreciate you saying
Yeah.
that, because
Mhm.
because the people that were doing that work didn't deserve to have so much of their time and effort spent on disciplinary actions with people that were behaving so badly,
Yes.
and then from my point of view, it's exhausting, and I'm
Yeah.
exhausted. I
Yeah.
mean, not only running the party and then having that election, and and I mean, it was a huge blow for everybody to have
Mhm.
him win. But in New Mexico, we didn't lose.
Yeah,
We
we did.
won.
Yeah, we
And we
did.
did our job. And
Yes,
we
we
did
did.
and I'm so proud of Dylan, my son, of course,
Yes,
because
of
he
course.
was,
I know.
and of course Gabe did it, did the work, but Dylan,
Mhm.
pushed and guided and helped him
Mhm.
figure out where to be next and all that. And
Yes.
so that's, we've got a full slate in the national. We've got
Right.
the majorities in our state houses.
Yes.
We've got a lot of, our bigger cities are
Yeah.
Democratic dominant. And
Yeah.
so we're doing the job even
Yeah.
under duress when we have other people that are not doing their
Yes.
jobs. And
Yes.
so it's kind of, that just, I feel like it needs to be said, and the people that are coming into the position, they need to know
Yeah.
that things aren't always smooth sailing.
Yes.
and
Definitely.
and and I that's kind of another reason that I wanted to talk to everybody myself, and give you that opportunity to say, these are the things that I might try differently, or not ever saying that the people that have done the work have done poorly. I'm just saying
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And so
No, no. I
go ahead.
Yeah. Oh no, I was gonna say that, yeah, like you said, we won in New Mexico. And now more than ever, other states are going to be looking at us as the example. And
So
we have showed up for ourselves, and we got to show up, and we have to continue to set that example for the other states who may be discouraged. It's bigger, it's always bigger than us. It's bigger than the position, it's bigger than, anything that's going on. It's bigger than the strife that has been going on within the interfighting going on within our Democratic
not
Party.
all part, just a couple of counties
Yeah,
have
just a
been
couple of counties for
been
sure.
maybe
Yeah.
maybe not focused on the mandate.
Right.
um oh, that made me think of something.
Yeah.
It just was there and gone, fleeting head. um oh my gosh, you made me think of something when you said that, and I apologize. I was listening to what you were saying, which is a good thing, also. um oh, do we have other issues, like what other things do you think New Mexico Democrats can do? Oh, I know what I was going to ask you. everyone did a postmortem, and I know in the Army after action review, and
Yeah, yeah.
they did all of this
Yes.
stuff, right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like I really want to hear how I screwed up. Thanks. But but everybody did that,
Yeah.
and right after Trump won, and they were like, these people didn't vote, and this group of people, and I mean, now we're 4 or 5 months down the road, and people are saying, there were low information voters, which is a nice way of saying they don't know, they're just listening to the
Yeah.
moment. They just don't do a lot of research or dive deep into things.
Hmm.
And the news came up with that low information voter. I was like, are you saying they're dumb? Or
Yeah.
what are you saying?
Yeah. What are you
And
saying?
so, what does that mean? It's kind of like alternative facts, right?
Hmm.
I
Right.
remember when that hit the
Yes,
waves,
yes,
that was
I
pretty
remember that.
wild.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So, so we also, oh God, it just flew out again. I had too much coffee, I think. Um, oh my gosh, I was making a point. All right, well, I'm not on target today.
It's okay. It'll come back.
Um, okay, it probably will.
Mhm.
So I ask all candidates this, even when I used to interview people, to hire them and stuff. What makes you the right choice for the position?
What makes me the right choice, Sarah, is like I said, my 25 years of human resource experience. My background in the military has given me a unique set of skills on how to lead and organize. I know how to follow when I need to follow. I know how to lead when I need to lead. And so
Mhm.
that's what makes me the right person for the position. I'm not in it for the title of secretary, like I told you. I'm in it to help us have a better DPNM party and continue to allow us to be the example for other states to follow.
Okay, great. Um, okay, and then this is like we could go on for this for hours.
Yeah.
Nationally,
Yeah.
what do you see as the biggest obstacle for us maintaining or getting past the American First MAGA agenda, which has turned into the Donald Trump, Elon Musk nightmare of a show?
Yes.
So,
I love
yeah,
that this question on there, and I'm so happy to speak to it. I know this is what I like to tell members because I know that everyone is afraid right now, nervous, and they're looking for guidance on what should we do, what can we do. Okay.
right. Okay.
I feel like New Mexico, we're like the eye of the storm where it's quiet and it's quiet in the eye of the storm because we have maintained so many resources for women's rights and LGBTQIA plus members because we have our good elected leaders in office like Rep. Stansberry, who's speaking for us and holding the line,
Mm.
Senator
Mm-hmm.
Pope holding the line for us as we try to navigate this turbulent time. And the thing that
Mm-hmm.
I like to tell members is to stay the course. I
That's
am
right.
not discouraged. I'm actually encouraged because there has not been anything that this administration has done that has not negatively affected members. This is a time that we can revamp up our numbers in the
Mm-hmm.
Democratic Party and as people, as humans, and this is me talking just as Barbara, as people, as humans, what we need to do is stay the course. We need to handle our slice of the pie. So do what you can every day to make a difference, with the Democratic ethics and what we stand for in mind, whether that's giving food to one of our houses members, donating clothes to the women and children's shelter, making sure that you get on those school boards or see what's going
Mm-hmm.
on, so that you can have a direct influence on what's going on for our children and our communities. That's what we have to do until we are able to, until the midterms come, and hopefully we're able to flip those 2 seats that we need, and then until we're able to start trying to roll back some of this egregious, harmful things that have been placed by this administration, which we will be correcting for years to come. So right now, sit still, practice self-care, and take care of your slice of the pie.
Your slice of the pie. I
Yes.
like that. Okay, I'm going to ask a question. Um, when you say go on school boards and all of that, you're saying that Democrats need to be out there and and running for office
Yes.
and doing things. And
Yes.
do you want to give the details for Emerge so that people can apply? Is that application process still open or?
Well, it actually closed for this class,
Oh,
but,
okay.
but
Okay.
I'll follow up and give you the information for Emerge.
Okay.
So yeah, you can still apply. Members can still apply. It's for all women and non-binary members, and you can still go
Okay.
to emergenewmexico.com or emerge.com. Let me look up the
I think it's .org, isn't it?
yes,
Because I looked it
.org.
up
I'm
the other
sorry.
day. It's
Yes,
okay. And
yes.
I only know that because I was looking to see where to help Alicia, who's gonna go to your class, attend and stuff.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
it's
I'm excited.
.org. So I'm sorry for that. Let me make that correction. It's dot
That's
emerge
okay.
dot org, and you'll be able to find where you can nominate a member to attend the next class or nominate the next leader. And there are all kind of ways
Okay.
to get involved. There's so much work to do. There's so much work to do, and that's what we have to do. One thing I always say is we have to get and stay in the driver's seat of politics because that's where the real change happens. Because if we see something we don't like, and you know that you're that person and you've been complaining about this and you have a plan, and run. That's what I say, run.
Exactly. So
Yes.
I'm trying to decide if I want to run for the representative seat or
Mm-hmm.
the school board, or I don't think you can have both. When you
Yeah.
talked about, you just mentioned flipping two seats. Are you talking about the two Florida seats? Because there's a
Yes.
New York seat as well. That's the third
I know, I
seat.
heard
And
that.
I don't
Yeah.
know when that election is, but if
Yeah.
we flip all three of those,
Mm-hmm.
then we get control of the
Yes.
House of
Yes.
Representatives again. And that is so important. People
It
need to
is.
understand that,
Right.
And so um that made me think of something, but yeah, people need to vote. They need to
Yeah.
help out. And when
Yes.
is that election? It's April 1st, I think, for
Yes,
the
it's coming up.
Florida
It's coming
seats.
up soon. So there was a national effort to donate where you were able to donate to the members in Florida to help try to flip the seat. And
I've
so
given them money. Yeah.
yes,
I've already given them
yeah,
money. So,
yeah,
yeah, I mean, that would be huge because they
yeah.
were like 46 plus red. And I
Mm-hmm.
mean, one of them was Matt Gates's thing. But I mean, I would hope that the people are tired of it and that, in the panhandle of Florida,
Mm-hmm.
isn't that where like NASA is and they have all this and they're
Yeah,
laying people off left and
yeah,
right. I mean,
yeah,
the number of people out of a job.
yeah.
I had a woman show up at a protest that we did. We actually did one protest so far. She showed up and I looked at her and she said, I know I'm a Republican, but I'm really upset. And I said, oh, okay,
Mm,
well, do tell why.
yeah.
And her her children live back in Washington, D.C., and they work for USAID and they got laid off.
Oh,
So
of course, yeah.
I mean, it's impacting people everywhere because now they're
It is.
asking, I mean, I don't know what they're asking of her, but here's a woman whose grandchildren are now the parents don't have a job.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah.
so it can have, and I know that we have all kinds of stuff in New Mexico. We have
Hmm.
Sandia, we have Los Alamos, we have all these very big federal jobs. And then I'm very
Exactly.
concerned about the parks.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
the parks, and now they're apparently going to open up timberland, and I
Yeah.
want to get your opinion on another topic. Let me write that
Hmm.
down.
Okay.
uh, but I don't want us drilling on our national parks. I
No.
just don't. I mean, at some
Yeah.
point you have to say you're not entitled to waste all of the resources of our country,
Yes.
when in fact they're like, well, look how much it's costing.
Yeah.
$3 billion
Hmm.
versus how much does it bring in?
Exactly.
$55 billion a year. If
Right.
if the meme that I saw on Instagram is to be believed, and I think
Hmm.
they cited some actual sources, the Park Service is in actual surplus for
Right.
people, and they want to privatize it. So this whole mass communication and media thing of telling us how horrible and rotten and ugly everything is, like Social Security is all corrupt.
Yeah.
It's not. They for
Yeah.
90 years have never missed a payment.
Yeah. No kidding. Yeah. It's
Right?
pretty amazing the things that they're putting out there to be believed.
And
Yeah.
Elon Musk calls people on Social Security parasites. I'm sorry, we paid
Right.
into that. And so did our
Yeah. No
employer as an
kidding.
agreement.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we're not the parasites. I mean, you're the one that gets $8 million a day from the federal
Right.
government because you're 100
Exactly.
contracts. So
Yes.
who is the
I heard
parasite? Yeah, go ahead.
exactly. As he's laying off, and I read, and I can't cite the source, but we're at 246% layoffs. And as he does that and continues to
Wow.
do that, he's soaking up all of those contracts that he is deemed unnecessary. Somehow he's getting his hands
Right, and then
on all
he's
those
taking over the
contracts.
contracts. So
Exactly.
the agencies he's going after are not the agencies that are full of extra fluff. Those are
Right.
the agencies that are full of things that he can then support with his businesses.
Exactly. Right
So
on.
he's enriching himself at our
Thank you.
expense.
Yes.
Yeah, and I find that so egregious and horrible.
Yeah.
And then there was something else. The whole idea of, I mean, I'm never going to advocate that you should throw Molotov cocktails at Tesla dealerships or at
Mhm.
the charging stations because it's destruction of property.
Right.
And you shouldn't do that. But at the same time, that's not a domestic terrorist
Hmm.
kind of a plot, you know? And
Right.
so,
It's not.
have you ever read the book On Tyranny by Timothy Snyder?
No, I haven't.
I'm going to send you a copy.
Okay, thank
And
you.
it's, yeah, you're welcome. And so I want to send you a copy because it's like the 20 steps towards fascism or authoritarian regimes.
Yeah.
And we are witnessing them, the attacks on the media,
Oh yeah.
not defending your institutions,
Hmm.
and then having no professional ethics like Pam Bondi and the
Yeah.
people in the Department of Justice,
Yeah.
and then Ash Patel. I
Yeah.
mean, this guy, oh my God. I mean, I just sat there watching it and I had to turn this stuff off after a
Yeah.
while. I was like, I can't watch anymore
Yes.
because the Republicans have basically given away their authority,
Right.
you
They
know?
have,
And
and yeah, you got to
can you
do it.
speak to any of the idea that, we are in this problem because the Republicans are not respecting the three branches of government and they are in a cult, in
Well,
my
yeah, it is
opinion.
cult-like behavior. No, no, you're right.
Hmm.
It is cult-like behavior. And I don't know if it's fear or if, if it's blackmail going on or any of those things. But yes, the country, we are literally in the wild, wild west. I mean, I have seen a good thing that you can do is go read the news sources from different countries overseas and their view on America. It's very disheartening. We are now the third world country that no one wants to go to and that they're scared to travel to because of the
Put a
dangers that
travel
are.
warning on us.
Yes,
They did.
yeah,
France and
yeah, they did.
England, and they said,
Yeah,
"Don't come here."
yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
when would you have thought that would have happened? And
Yeah,
it's like Canada. That's what I wanted to ask you. What do
yeah,
you think is the goal of this insanity of Donald Trump talking about the 51st state of Canada
yeah,
and calling, Trudeau the governor,
yeah,
and then Panama, like we're going to attack Panama
yeah.
or we're going to steal Greenland from the Danes. And I'm like, I mean, I just don't get why Republicans aren't jumping out of their hoops going, okay, this is crazy talk.
Yeah, yeah, it is crazy. I believe his thought process is just trying to mimic his best friend Putin. He's just wants to. It's almost like he's not, of course, he's not thinking about the American people at all, but he's thinking about how much power and in competition with how much power and other land resources that he can grab up to so he can be like his best buddy, almost like they're competing on the golf course with human life.
I'm ashamed of the steps that have been taken about Ukraine. And people
Yeah,
have,
me too.
and Elon Musk is part of that by turning off
Yeah,
Starlink, by
yeah,
using his and you talked about blackmail. Well, Donald Trump's done that kind of blackmail. Well, if you don't do what we want and if
yeah,
you don't settle, then we're gonna create these problems for you. But in
exactly.
addition to that, like last night, I think was it Rachel? I guess Rachel was talking about uh, that he's going after law firms, professional organizations and institutions, and here are huge law firms. And the first law firm he went after, Cooey and something, they fought back and they filed a lawsuit. So that didn't work. So we went after another lawsuit or another law firm who makes like $2 billion a year. So
Mhm.
they went to the table with each other and sat down and said, let's go to him privately in the White House and offer him $40 million of legal services.
Yeah.
And Trump came out and then went on his little Twitter feed or whatever his feed is, I don't, Truth Social, and said he's decided not to punish them. What do we
Yeah.
call
Because
that? We call that
that's a
blackmail,
shakedown. Yeah, it's blackmail.
extortion,
Yeah, exactly. It's
extortion.
clearly, yeah,
And the
clearly.
Supreme Court has allowed them. I mean, Donald Trump can't break any laws. Well, that's
Mhm.
extortion, and I don't want my
Yeah, it is.
president committing extortion. Not to even talk about the cryptocurrency that he's getting millions of dollars shoveled into by foreign
Yeah.
nationals and stuff.
Yes.
I
Yes.
mean,
Yeah.
every day there's some scary thing that happens, and I'm just, and we can do our part. We do our part in New
Yeah.
Mexico, and we toe the line and stuff.
Yes.
The intimidation and I mean, I'm very concerned. They said that there were like 43 people that were just disappeared out of New Mexico. They're
Yes, it's
gone.
true. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah,
Do you know more? I
one of
don't
them.
know.
Oh yeah, one of them was my friend.
I'm
He's
so sorry. What
you.
happened? Do you know anything or?
Yeah, he was on his way to work and he was picked up by ICE. He's originally from Liberia, and so he's still in custody. He's been in custody for about 4 weeks now.
And he was here legally, right?
Yes,
Under like a lawful
yes,
permanent
yes,
residency card?
yeah, lawful permanent residency. Yes, for sure.
So why are they I mean, how can you have to go to a court of law. I
Okay,
mean,
well,
we're
this is what I've gathered, Sarah, from the whole thing. So these members are being picked up, right? And they go to these detention centers, and then you need to send money they have to have money to get toiletry items. They have to have money to use a phone. They have to have money to use the internet. So it's just like a money grab, and then and free labor. Sending the members to El Salvador, sending members, it's basically human trafficking, right? In front of our faces under the guise of deporting illegal immigrants, which is not a term that I use because you can't be, we need to remember humans. People like to
right.
use different labels, but we are humans and humans deserve care and respect and empathy
And dignity
and
and
dignity.
they,
Yes.
I mean the basic, it's in what is it, the Ninth Amendment, that if you haven't an enumerated right, then your implied rights are still there.
Yeah.
And so, I got into an argument with somebody that said, well, they're not citizens, so they're not entitled to due process. And I was like, no, that's not what the 14th Amendment says.
Right.
It says that if you are here and you're living here and you're part of, I don't have the book in front of me. I should, you don't have to be a US citizen to be entitled to those things. And so people
Exactly.
need to understand that
Right.
we are losing our rights. And
Yes.
they're like, well, they're just Valenzuela gang members, but they're not.
No, they're
Not all of
not.
them were.
They're not. Yes.
And I'm sorry, when did Trump ever not lie? And so the idea that and the thing that's really upsetting is the court, the judge is going and saying, "You have got to tell me why you disobeyed my order. I told you to turn the
Mhm.
planes around, and then you sent a third one anyway."
Yeah.
And they have come back and forth and back and forth. I mean, like every day, this judge is having them in front of them, and they are getting crazier and crazier and crazier. And
Yeah.
I would hope that the Supreme Court puts a stop to this. I don't have that much faith,
I
but
don't
I
eat.
sure hope so.
Yeah.
I know,
I
because
in the
I know
Supreme
it's really
Court. Yeah.
scary. It's
Really
really
scary.
scary. Well, we've beat number 8 to death. There are problems, and we've got to get them.
Yes.
We've got to work
Right
every
on.
day to get them
Yes.
resolved. All right. Last question. What do you want people who will be voting for you to know about your commitment, knowledge, and focus going forward?
Yeah, so what I want people to focus on is the integrity that I bring to the table, and then the commitment and the transparency that I plan to bring to the office. If you have a question, I will source that until we get an answer for you. I will be the voice for members who have gripes and complaints. Like I said, I want to bring that up so that they know that the issues are being listened to and heard,
Hmm.
and that we come
Hmm.
up with solutions, quick solutions for to perform like conflict resolution and things of that nature. So that's what I want people to know about me. And of course, again, my 25 years of human resource experience and my military service will help me run this position seamlessly.
I hope so. Oh my gosh, I hope that that people get a chance to listen to your podcast here today
Yes.
and feel like they're putting it in good hands. And so yeah, when is the vote? It's April 25th, right? And
Yes.
I don't even, where is that going to be at? Do you know? Is
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's just if where the exact vote will be at, but I will be
Because if I'm on the SCC, I want to
I
come
know the
up.
SEC, but yeah, I'm not sure if it's a Zoom that we're all just attending or where
I think it's in person because I
yes,
heard someone mention the other day about blocking off
yes.
hotels, and I guess I probably have it on an email somewhere. I just haven't looked.
Mhm.
So I didn't mean to put you on the spot on
No,
that.
no, no, you're fine. Yeah, no, I need to
Okay,
know and I
and
will
let me
find
see.
out.
Yeah, I mean, the only other thing that I didn't get back to was the national parks and
Oh, yes,
the
yeah.
I mean, we don't really need to say it, but I kind of feel like, people need to understand that we are isolated. I mean, you wanted to be America first. Well, you're
Yeah,
America alone.
right.
You're not first because
Yeah,
I mean, Canada's already decided to sell their timber to
yeah,
Brazil or wherever
yes.
it was or something, and they're not using the American dollar. So that's
Yeah.
actually a bad thing for us.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
when these companies start, using something other than the dollar, and they formed the Brexit nations, which is I think is India, China, India, might be Brazil, a couple other over in that part of the world,
Hmm.
and they're excluding us in terms of the trade deals because we did the same thing with Canada and Mexico, and now he's antagonized all of our allies,
Yeah.
and so but the man that got elected, Mr. Carney, he's the new prime minister and stuff. He has a niece who's dating someone from Roswell.
Oh, nice.
I know, right? So I'm gonna I'm gonna say, can I get a pass to Canada? No,
Yes.
just kidding. That's too funny. Yeah. Anyway, are there any other thoughts that you have that you want to share with anyone? I'm so glad that we got to talk about a lot of stuff because we
Yes.
we knew each other from about
Yeah.
2 years ago. We
Yeah.
got to meet each other, and so
Yes.
I'm happy to do that. And anything you want anyone else to know or
Okay, I'm gonna. This is a strange thing to say, but it has helped me. It has helped my anxiety is to go back and reread Project 2025 because it's a playbook of what's going on. So even though we can cut some of the psychological warfare down with the uh rapid fire of the executive orders that are coming out so that you can like center and calm yourself. I would suggest that going back and rereading Project 2025 helps. And then also, like I said, taking care of our slice of the pie here, taking care of each other,
mm-hmm,
practicing
mm-hmm.
self-care, and just doing what Democrats do. We need to continue to do what Democrats do, and that is take care of the people and take care of each other.
That's right. That's right. And this podcast, the name of the podcast, I did like, I think 8 or 9 discussions of Project 2025 before I started interviewing people for the party.
Mhm.
And I'm not doing it for the party, I'm doing it for the people in the party.
Yes.
I'm not getting paid or compensated in any way.
Mhm.
Um, and so Project 2025 was a long-term plan. And
Yeah.
that was what I was going to say. I finally remembered is
Mhm.
that, Democrats, I don't know what they think, but I mean, I have such a hard time getting involvement or participation. I was pleased that we had 32 people show up for our first protest, so I'm hoping we'll get more the next time. But the truth is that the Republicans, they wrote Project 2025. They've written for 50 years they have
Yeah.
been planning this. So
Yes.
it's not they're now implementing it. And where are Democrats with regard to saving and going forward and saying what life can be like in the future?
Yeah.
Where where we don't just allow rich people to absorb all the resources of our
Mhm.
country. We
Mhm.
need to have a plan. And so that is, you bringing up that Project 2025 illustrates that they have been planning this.
Yeah.
And now they're executing it at a
Yes.
rapid pace, which has
Yes.
made us a pariah in the
Yeah.
world.
Right.
And they want the wealthier to be wealthier. And this whole business of taxing people and saying, well, we're not really taking Medicaid, except
Yeah.
for that agency has a budget. And
Hmm.
in order to reach that $800 billion that you want to take away from that agency, the Department of
Yeah.
Commerce or whatever it is,
Yeah.
then the only thing that exceeds like, $50 billion for all their other programs is Medicaid.
Yeah.
So, so Republicans are pretending that they're not getting rid of Medicaid, and yet that's exactly what they're
Oh,
doing.
yeah. It's
And
exactly.
somebody said they're doing the Medicaid and not the Medicare because Medicaid is children and
Yeah.
disabled people who don't vote.
Right.
So all these things are on the plate. You're going to be in the middle of things if you get elected, and you're going to be dealing with a lot of stuff. And so I applaud you for running, and I appreciate that. And I'm going to let you have your morning back on a Saturday morning. And I appreciate you calling in so we could get to know you a little better, and other people can watch this and hopefully make a decision.
Yes.
So
Thank you so much, Sarah, for having me. The last thing
you're
I want to
so
say,
welcome.
I want people to always remember that I used to say this at every protest, and I want to say this now, that we have to remember that this is our city and this is our state and that this is our America. And we
That's
got this.
right.
Yeah.
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 Okay. Good
Okay.
enough. All
Thank
right.
you.
That's all we have time for. Okay. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.